Alright, this time we have Prickster against Hard Mode Bjorn. This pal is running Vampiric, and you will see in the fight why Vampiric was kind of necessary on it. It didn't really work out without Vampiric like the Libro build did. And one of the main reasons is I had done this fight before recording the Libro video, and one little piece of misinformation there probably is that I mentioned pals might take damage if they get too close, and that was based on what I thought I saw while recording this fight. But after watching it back a little bit, it wasn't really that Prickster was getting so close that it was taking damage. It's what happened right there. He kind of does the little jump when he does his dash skill. This build is based entirely upon him using his dashing skill to get in close, and then landing a big rock burst hit while he is close. As mentioned in the Libro video, Dark Pals don't have a minimum range on their basic attack, so they won't do this jump back. So as long as Bjorn isn't moving too much, he should be able to land these sort of melee range rock bursts. It doesn't synchronize perfectly, like some other pals where they will get in close and immediately pop a rock burst. Some pals just kind of work better than others with it. But it did work out pretty well, except for this needing to use Vampiric. So what ended up happening here is he does this little jump when he does the dash skill, and then he kind of jumps into these aqua bursts, the icicle bullet skill, even the dark wisp orbs sometimes hit him. So that's just a lot of extra damage taken during the course of the fight, which it just doesn't manage to survive. And it's not something you can really withdraw dodge because it's part of his own attack. It's not something that Bjorn is doing, like a glacial impact or something like that. So it's just a little bit of these random hits. It's kind of similar to Phalaris and Phalaris Aqua, where their attacks just kind of lead into them taking more hits. And then you have this kind of stuff, like if Prickster was in front of Bjorn there, he would have taken some Hydro Laser damage. Just a little bit of unavoidable damage. But compared to Libro, the benefit is that it does have a built-in attack that gets it in nice and close for that rock burst, so I don't need to focus that much on my positioning versus Bjorn. It's more you want to stay sort of around the range where I am now to prevent Bjorn from moving too much. You don't want him to run after you too much, and you don't want him to jump backwards too much. You kind of want him to be static for maximum amount of rock burst hits. Something I also didn't mention in the Libro videos, I did try a little bit of builds with Libro using like Shockwave, Dragon Burst, the dark version of Dragon Burst. I think it's just called like Dark Burst or something like that. Dark Pulse? I don't know. But these skills to getting close, but it wasn't really worth trading the damage from Earblade and stuff like that just to getting close. It just kind of led to Libro just following Bjorn around the room for a couple of seconds and losing uptime on actually using like Flame Funnel and stuff like that instead, because she would kind of chase after him instead of actually just doing an Airblade. So that just wasn't really worth it. Another benefit here for Prickster is the built-in poison effect. So there isn't really that many attacks that have the poison aggregate in the game outside of exclusive skills. You got like Poison Ball, maybe Poison Shower if you breed for it, but outside of that there isn't a whole lot of poison. Now poison is heavily nerfed along with burn against tower bosses, and it doesn't work against raid bosses, but it's a little bit of added percentage damage, which when the boss has, I guess, like almost a million health, it does add up a little bit over the course of the fight to have both burn and poison going on. They stack, they don't overwrite each other. That's just another little benefit of this build. So it's a very respectable time for Prickster, but I will say that it was a little bit more challenging than using some other pals just because of this random jumping effect leading into taking a couple of extra hits that might have been unnecessary. But overall, any skill or any pal with these skills which gets them up close, you can see that Prickster beat the Ashermain time there because Ashermain's Bolt Blink is just not as effective at doing this kind of build. But the others, Tyrantris, Blatrina, Bushi, they all have these getting close skills. Libro just has an absurd amount of attack compared to other pals. Prickster's attack is a little bit lacking, but it did have Legend. Libro doesn't have Legend, and then I needed to run Vampiric, so not a ferocious build here. Then we got that Upper Smash skill. Pretty good. Did lead to taking it some unnecessary damage, but I don't think that's an issue really against a lot of the other bosses. It might it might jump into an Aqua Burst as it did in the start of the fight. But overall, it worked out pretty well. And then Serenity is just a safe bet when you're doing this Rockburst build. It works better on paths that are not dark and electric, just because you don't want it to use, like a Noclum will use Bog Blast, it jumps back, and then the Rockburst will only hit like 2 or 3 rocks. So Serenity is just a good option when doing the Rockburst build. So overall, a very strong build for this Prickster, making Prickster shine. Huge benefit from just being a dark pal and having a dash skill to get in close for that Rockburst. So thanks for watching.